Hi Superhumans, welcome back to my channel. Before I get into today's video, I just wanted to apologize for the very low audio and visual quality of my last video. I'm actually pretty bleak about it because I'm really chuffed with the content that's in that video. The topics I discussed are some things that I've been wanting to discuss for a long time, and I actually was very nervous to talk about it, but I'm so glad that I did because many people have since come to me and told me that they are really glad that I posted it, that there was something in there that they could identify with and that it help them get through something. So I'm really glad that you enjoyed it, and I apologize for the poor quality. I'm definitely going to try to keep it up from now on. In today's video, I wanted to talk about how to cultivate a mindset for success. But before we get into it, let's talk about some neuroscience. Are you aware of the fact that a thought is rated as having the highest energy out of anything that's ever been measured in this world, as in like a single element, which means that a thought is extremely powerful, and a thought is a highly creative thing. It results in either a consequent thought, an emotion, an action, or some sort of response, which means that every single thought that propagates through your body results in something. Why do I say propagate through the body? Well, it was believed a few decades ago that all of the neurons that we know are responsible for our mental activity are contained only inside our brain. But actually, it was discovered recently that we have neurons in every single cell in our body, which means every single thought and every single belief that you hold is housed within your body. When you look at it this way, it makes sense when you realize that 85% of people who have been diagnosed with cancer experience some sort of drastic internal conflict within the 3-year period before they were diagnosed. So that means that your thoughts and the emotions that you let run through you can have a direct consequence on your health. And I'm sure that you've felt this for yourself. When you're having a day when you're feeling very low and negative on the inside, your body tends to feel the same way, and you'll feel tired and demotivated, and you'll find that the body and mind are often aligned like this. There are so many reasons why it's important to make sure that you keep a positive internal state. The external world that you experience is a reflection of your internal state, and vice versa. The way that you choose to see the world is the way that you experience it. Our brain actually acts as a major filter for the way that we take in the objective reality as we know it, but we actually have no idea about what that objective reality is, because there are 7.8 billion versions of reality. That is one for every single person, because each of us is working with a different set of filters. And these filters are developed by the thoughts that we continue to propagate. We can change our belief systems, we can change our attitudes, therefore we can change the filter through which we see the world. And you are not experiencing the world as it is, you are experiencing the world after it has gone through this filter system. And the quality of the filters that you have will determine how you interact with the world, which will have a major impact on the outcomes that you experience. So now I would like to introduce you to the concept of a presupposition. A presupposition is basically something that you just take as being true and you assume it to be so before even experiencing something after that. The advantage of choosing powerful presuppositions is that you can navigate through your life taking a basic set of principles to be an axiom, that is to be a fundamental truth that doesn't require evidence, so that you can navigate your life in a way that is convenient for you. So in life coaching, they taught us 18 presuppositions of success, and I'm not going to talk you through all of them today, but I just want to point you to 3 that are very useful for me, and I want to encourage you to think of a presupposition for yourself that would greatly improve the way that you are operating in this world and will improve your experience here on earth. The first presupposition is that the map is not the territory. And this is a great analogy for many reasons. Firstly, like I explained, there is the reality out there in the world, and there is the way that we experience it. Whenever you use Google Maps, you're not actually looking at the territory itself, you're looking at a convenient representation of the territory so that you can move around it. But you may have found that sometimes when you are driving down the road, there is a closure that hasn't been accounted for, which means that that representation is no longer valid. In the same way, our filter system creates a convenient version of reality because there is just too much data out there in the world for us to take in. Our conscious mind processes 400 million bits per second. But once it has gone through the filter system, we are left with 2,000 bits per second that are able to be interpreted by the rest of the brain. And we need this, or else we would be simply overwhelmed by the amount of stimuli that we experience outside. Therefore, the analogy of the map and the territory is very accurate to how our brain works. So you have the choice to improve on your map so that you can improve your experience here in this world. You may be operating on a map that was convenient at one point in time, but is no longer convenient. As we improve our technological modes and as we improve the speed and capabilities of our vehicles, we need more complex maps because there are more places that we can go with the vehicles that we have. And the same might be true for your mind. When you were younger, you might have formed some beliefs so that you could stay safe, but now that you've managed to navigate the world a little bit more, you can expand your map to reflect that territory a little bit more accurately, and you can also choose what you'd like to keep in the map to help you navigate the world. So take some time to ponder on this concept of the map is not the territory, and ask yourself whether you think that you have some elements on your map that may be working against you and not for you. That's the first thing. The second presupposition is that people have all the resources that they need already inside of them to achieve whatever they want to. Again, I just want to emphasize, a presupposition is not necessarily a truth as we come to know it. That means that it doesn't mean that in every single case it is going to be 100% accurate. But if you think about it, there are very little truths in reality. Yes, if I drop a pencil 10 times in a row, it may fall onto the floor 10 times in a row, and we have scientific axioms that can justify why that has happened, but there is nothing to say that on the 11th time that you drop it, there is not some other scientific law that exists out there that could make the pencil just stay in still air. In fact, I'm sure that there are some places in the universe where that happens, which means that that principle doesn't necessarily apply all the time. A presupposition is something that you choose to believe to enhance your life. So when we say that we believe that people have all the resources within them to enable them to do their best, then that is very effective for us, because that makes us take accountability for our lives and helps us to feel equipped and experience the potential that we need to achieve whatever it is that we want to. So this is a very powerful belief because it empowers us to realize that we have the resources inside of us, and we may need to go for specific lessons or get a little bit of knowledge outside of us, but the consciousness that decides to take it on and the willpower that gets generated within us all comes from inside of ourselves. That's the second thing. The third thing is that people are doing the best that they can with the resources that they have available. This is a powerful presupposition because this opens the space for forgiveness, not only with others, but also with yourself. If you choose to believe that everybody is trying their best, I promise you this is one of the most liberating things that you can choose to believe. It helps you to not hold on to grudges. It helps you to be compassionate with yourself as well as with others, and it helps you to progress and let go. This is one of the things that I reflect on almost every day, as I often feel frustrated with the fact that people don't engage with me the way that I would expect them to. And it's very easy for us to form a judgment when looking at someone and thinking, why don't they act the way that I would act if I was in that situation? The reality is that you don't know how you would act if you were in that situation, because you are not in that situation at that specific point in time. The way that people behave is a result of their ecology, the way that they were brought up, the specific sorts of I can't talk today at all. The specific set of circumstances that they are dealing with on that particular day, as well as the hormonal balance that they're going through. So it is just very convenient for us to look at the way that someone is behaving and assume that they are doing the best that they can. So these are the 3 presuppositions that I would like to present to you today, and I challenge you to think of one presupposition that you could introduce into your life, which if you had to reflect on and choose to believe in every day, would help you to advance and progress even further and help you to have a more pleasant experience here on earth. As we know, time is limited and we have to make the best of it what we can. Whatever we choose to process on the inside is exemplified on the external world. So if you are experiencing patterns in your external world that are upsetting to you, that is because there is something in your internal world that is generating that behavior. So let me know in the comments down below what your presupposition is, and thank you so much for joining me on this video. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.